Video 3. Game Skeleton. We have 4 main objectives in this video. 1. We will give a short description of React. 2. We will introduce our first React function component. 3. Then we will render the component to the DOM. That is, we will display the React component on our page. 4. We will show the HTML output of our component in the index.html page using Chrome's developer tools. React is a declarative, efficient, and flexible JavaScript library for building user interfaces. It lets you compose complex UIs from small and isolated pieces of code called components. In this video, we will make our first React component, and render it to the DOM. First, make sure your development server is running in terminal, by using yarn start. Now let's get started coding. We will switch over to Atom. In index.js, we will create a function that we will call game. Note that we will use ES6 arrow function notation within this section. You can see that the function returns something that looks like HTML. However, it is neither HTML, nor is it a string. It is JSX. JSX is a syntax extension to JavaScript. JSX stands for JavaScript XML. During Create React Apps build process, JSX compiles to pure JavaScript. For example, the return JSX compiles to React does not require using JSX, but it is recommended because it looks similar to HTML. In addition, JSX is easy to read and write. In the browser, you will see, failed to compile. React must be in scope when using JSX. So, let's import React at the top of our file. Save the file. We can see that the app compiles. However, we still see a blank screen. The game function is a React component. We need to render the game component to the DOM. In order to do that, we first need to import the React DOM package. Now that we have imported the React DOM library, we can use its render method. The render method takes 2 arguments. The first being the component to render to the DOM, and the second being the node in the DOM to render the component to. We will call the DOM node, where we want to render our component to, the target node, or the target container. Let's open the index.html file in the public folder. We can see a div tag, with an ID of root. This is our target node for rendering. React will render our components here. Let's return to our index.js file. Let's go to the bottom of the file. Invoke the render method of React DOM. The first argument is the game component, using JSX notation. The second argument is the target node with an ID of root. We will access this target node using JavaScript's document.getElement by ID method. Save the file and see the component render on our page. We can also see our component render in HTML from Chrome's developer tools. We can open Chrome DevTools, and select the Inspect Elements tab. Using the key combination of Option Command C, we can inspect the div with the ID of root. Within it, there is a div containing the text game, mirroring the JSX returned by our game component. To summarize, we showed what React was. We created a very simple function component. We rendered that function component to the DOM. And, we showed the HTML representing the component within Chrome Developer Tools. In the next video, we will add some basic CSS styling to our game app.